Immersed Robot.
Hello everyone, welcome to Immersed Robot, and this time I wanted to take a quick look at Microsoft Flight Simulator because the World Update 4 has just recently dropped, so I thought I'd take a quick look and see how this looks in VR. So I'm doing my usual little thing of basically running Steam VR in the locked frame rate of I'm running 80 Hz in the Valve Index, and then I've locked a frame rate to 40 frames per second, and that generally in the past has given me the best overall experience. I will say whenever I'm close to the ground, of course, and things like that, you do get some performance hitches but at that setting, but I've got to say that most areas will run pretty well with that on my PC. So I'm in France at the moment. This is of course one of the areas that has been treated to some photogrammetry in Paris and a few other areas as well. So I think Belgium, Netherlands and Luxembourg have all been updated in this latest update for the game. So in World Update 4, these are the areas that have been included. So let's go and take a look at some of the main sites. I mean, the main one I suppose is the Eiffel Tower. Now let's see if I can find that place. Is that the Eiffel Tower over there? It probably is. I'm going to head in that direction anyway and see what it looks like. The game is performing pretty good. I will probably put on the Fps Vr overlay. Oh, we blanked out a little bit there. So yeah, there's always a few bugs, I've got to say, like with Microsoft Flight Simulator and any game of this scope really will have a few bugs after a major update. No Man's Sky is sort of famous for them really, as is something like Elite Dangerous as well. But so far, performance does seem pretty good. I can definitely see the reprojection blurring, of course, on the wings as I turn, but overall it seems pretty good. So if it sounds a little bit different today, I am recording this a little bit differently. Usually I'll record footage and then do a little bit of a voiceover afterwards once I know what I want to say, but I'm just doing this one live. I've experimented with it a little bit in my last Elite Dangerous video, my last Elite Dangerous performance video anyway, at least, and it went pretty well, so I thought I'd carry on with it. But let's take a look at the Eiffel Tower then. Just from up here, it looks great. I've got to say, the performance, I don't want to get too low. The performance is not great. I've not been in Microsoft Flight Simulator for a few weeks now, and whenever I remember when I tried the last update, the World Update 3, some of the areas there, the major cities, of course, like Paris, back in the World Update 3, it was London, and those places are, they struggle with performance, and this is no different. So as we approach the Eiffel Tower here, I probably won't get too low, although it seems to be handling this pretty well. It looks great, I've got to say, from this height. Some of the photogrammetry on the buildings looks a little bit strange around the trees, but wow, this is cool. Yeah, performance is definitely struggling here on these settings. I might lower the locked frame rate down again. I'm not too sure. Let's just see how it handles it anyway, away from Paris. But I'll just stay here for a moment because it's an amazing site, I've got to say. So I think I did briefly visit Paris before and visit the Eiffel Tower before this update, and yeah, of course, it didn't look anywhere close to that. Similar to London. London had all the basics there. Let's go to the Arc de Triomphe. London had all the basics the same as Paris, but now it's been built up in this way and everything looks stunning, especially if you don't get too close, it looks incredible. Obviously the lower you get, the performance gets worse, but also you start to see some of the some of the distortions in the photogrammetry and stuff like that. But yeah, this is really struggling now. You know, one of the main things with this game, it's just the performance. It's the performance. It almost, it doesn't ruin the experience because it's so incredible, but it's getting very close. I might just let me just change the frame rate down, and we'll see how we go. Just bear with me. Okay, so I've locked frame rate down to 26 frames per second now. Let's just head back over to the Arc de Triomphe just to see how that performs. I'm not running with FPS Vr at the moment, of course. I'm just seeing how it feels as I play the game. Such a shame that it doesn't perform quite to the level you would like it to. He'll get there one day, I'm sure. But okay, this is running, it feels better. Obviously you get a few more of the motion smoothing distortions, but at least it's smooth now for the most part. So I guess this is the Champs-Élysées. I think that leads up to the Arc de Triomphe. I have been Paris in real life. Yeah, fantastic city. I really enjoyed my visit there. Okay, I'll just go over this more dense area with these taller buildings, just see what it looks like, and then we'll head over somewhere else. Okay, yeah, this looks pretty good. It's performing quite well, of course, within the context of a game that performs pretty badly overall anyway. But yeah, it looks nice here. Wow. Some of these places, they look so detailed. I mean, you'd be struggling if I had a slightly higher resolution headset. You know, some of these places from this height, you'd be struggling to separate it from real life in some ways. You know, I mean, of course, you've got to sort of, I guess, suspend disbelief to a certain extent, but some parts of this look so real when you're from this height. When you get closer, of course, you start to see the inconsistencies in the geometry and stuff like that, but from here it just looks absolutely incredible. Okay, I guess we'll let's try some of the other areas in World Update 4 now. I'll head back here later on. Okay, so here we are at the Millau Viaduct. This hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. So I've currently kept the locked frame rate at 26 frames per second, but this area, I would think it would be able to handle it a little bit better. So let me just swap that over now, actually. Okay, yeah, so I've locked frame rate back up to 40 FPS now. Still running at 80 Hz in the Valve Index, of course. And it's obviously handling the frame rate a lot better in this area. I don't think you can fly under bridges at the moment. I think it still registers as a crash. I'm going to try it anyway. Let's go for it. No. Okay. Fantastic. So last time I tried that, I can't remember where I was. I think I was it's some dam in the US, and it had a bridge over a canyon. And yeah, I wasn't able to fly under it, and I think you struggle to fly under some of the bridges in this game, but it looks like either they've updated that since I last played, or this is an exception. I'm not sure. Wow. Again, you know, these are the things that we've come to expect from this game. It looks fantastic. In these areas that they've updated, it looks great. Some incredible scenery around here as well. You know, this game, I like flight simulators. I've never really been too invested in them. This is the first one I've spent, you know, longer than a few hours in, really. And I think it's the fact that these real world locations, it's the fact you can go anywhere in the world that really keeps me playing this. It's almost like it's that alone more than anything else that's keeping me playing this. And you know, we've got things like Google Earth VR as well, where you can go, and I've put a lot of time into that as well. But there's something special about this game because it maps the world in this way. And the more areas they can add detail to of this level, the better it's going to be. It's only going to get better, this game, as it goes. Absolutely incredible. Okay, I could stay here for a while, but I want to try another couple of locations, so let's select another one. What I'll do, I'll head back to Paris at the end of this video and just show you a little bit of the FPS Vr overlay, just so we can get an idea of how well it's running in that particular area. And so here we are at Vyandin Castle now in Luxembourg. Another photogrammetry section. Do a quick fly past here and then we'll get a little bit lower. Looks very nice. Again, the scenery around here is incredible. Again, like I was saying, you know, there's at this altitude, everything looks incredible up here. The trees even, and the trees are the things that can probably look a little bit strange when you get too close to them. As can the buildings really, but this particular one should be pretty nice because it's been specifically rendered. I think there's a level of detail, it looks great, don't get me wrong, but I think there's a level of detail that will come with time as well as the game gets further updates. It looks great. Trees look pretty good over here. Again, performance feels really good on this section as well. There's a lot of detail. There is a lot of detail, but generally performance feels good. I don't know how it's coming out on the capture. This is one game. I am, of course, using my usual setup. I've got a separate PC capturing this footage. So recording the game shouldn't take away any resources from the game running well enough anyway, sort of its maximum capacity. Okay, so here we are in Brussels at the Cathedral of Our Lady Antwerp. I'll try to slow down. Generally fly past these things too quickly, such is the way. Nicely detailed, very nicely detailed, that one. And you can tell actually when I went lower there, the performance in this area is not great. Obviously the amount of buildings that is in this area, it's struggling a little bit, but you can tell, you know, the detail in this building looks fantastic. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Okay, and here we are at Reims Cathedral. Back in France, of course. Very smooth, this area. This area is performing great. Excellent detail on the building. I can see there was a little bit of reprojection blur there, but it looks great. Wow, look at the detail on that. This looks incredible. The surrounding area as well, if you can see some of the surrounding area, like the ground textures are the things that separate, that take you out of it a little bit, but the buildings themselves look great for the most part. And of course the central focus, this cathedral, looks fantastic. Few little stutters there, but generally performing not too bad. What I'll do, let's just out of interest, let's turn on FPS Vr now. Okay, so we've got FPS Vr running now. You can see the overlay at the bottom of the screen. As I mentioned, I'm running at 40 FPS locked, so it won't go above that. and it's maintaining it quite nicely. See, this is the thing with this game, you have to make a bit of a compromise. You have to go for lower frame rates, but as long as it's consistent frame rates, then the game still feels pretty nice to play. So there we go, we've got drops, and you can see that clearly actually in the headset as well. So that was like CPU, that felt more like, it looks like it was the CPU that was struggling there. But generally it can maintain 40 FPS. The most demanding area that I've tried so far is of course Paris, so let's head back there now and see what that looks like. Okay, so here we are back in Paris again, just flying over the Eiffel Tower. You can see frame rate struggling a little bit here with these 40 FPS. If you remember at the beginning of this video, I did switch it down to 26 frames per second because it was struggling. Let's just fly around with these 40 FPS for now. It's the CPU generally. Yeah, so it's really struggling on this section. When I went over the Arc de Triomphe last time, it was struggling there the most, and you can see it just can't maintain 40 FPS on this area. You know, this is the thing, and when it drops like this, it's just not a great experience. I don't know how anyone can play when it's dropping frames to this extent. I don't know how anybody can play without locking frame rate in this game, for the most part anyway. Especially in areas like this, it feels like you need to lock frame rate to get any kind of enjoyable experience out of it. Let me just change the frame rate lock now. So I've locked that at 26.7 frames per second, something like that. It rounds it up anyway to 27 frames per second, and it's smooth now. It is smooth. You get more of the reprojection blurring, of course, the motion smoothing artifacts, and things like that. But it's smooth, and that's the main thing. So it looks like for me, running major cities that have had this kind of update, this photogrammetry update, it generally feels like I need to run them at this lower setting of 27 frames per second. Now, you can run it at 90 Hz in the Valve index and then lower it down to 30 frames per second. It could probably maintain that for the most part as well. The thing is, I mean, it's the performance about this game which is the worst thing, really. I love almost everything else about it, and I love the consistent updates. I love the fact that you can go anywhere in the world, and even if it's not had the update, you still get a pretty accurate representation. Even though it's not always perfect, you get a nicely accurate representation of the area you're visiting, even if it's not got the, you know, the 3 dimensions, the especially the photogrammetry, you know, that makes all the difference to certain areas like the major cities, of course. But it's still an incredible experience anyway, even disregarding that. But so I think that's one of the main draws for me with this game. That's why I think it is a fantastic game, that you can go anywhere in the world. The only thing is the performance, and as I mentioned, we'll get there. I think it will improve as time goes on. Of course, we'll get better hardware to run this thing on anyway, and hopefully they'll continue to optimize it. But it's still difficult to go overly negative on this game when it gives you an experience which is unlike anything else, really. Okay, so I'll just finish off this video just by flying over the Louvre. I did visit this, saw the Mona Lisa here quite a few years ago. I think it was 2007. We went to this place, great day, had a great day in Paris, and then went to the Louvre and saw the Mona Lisa. It looks great. you know, look at this. This looks absolutely fantastic. There's not a lot to dislike about this update. But yeah, so I guess with that, I'll bring this video to a close. Hope it wasn't too rambling, and I hope this kind of style where I'm just sort of rambling along as I'm trying a game out wasn't too annoying for anybody. But thank you for watching anyway, and I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Actually, I've got a few videos lined up that I'm thinking about doing. I've got a couple of performance tests that I've got in mind. I'm not too sure which one the next video will be, but I'll keep you updated on that. But yeah, I'll shut up now. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.
Please hesitantly tap the like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more concise and informative VR content. You can also join our Discord by clicking on the link in the description of this video. And, as always, I'll catch you on the flippity flip.